Now, Sedinam Tamakloe, she has blood running through her veins. Kenoforiata has palm kernel oil, adringo, in his veins. So he is now more important than Sedinam Tamakloe, who has been convicted.
And that's already breaking news. Abane say former MASLOC boss, Mame Sedinam Tamakloe, US for Ensa Aswedimo into US Acheno. Now, Mame and the dark screen see a former MASLOC boss under first John Dramani Mame's administration, which is 2012 to 2016. Mame court Ankasa Ewo Ghana a fine for causing financial loss to the state. A sentence Mame now so Mame Nyadea who will be of fire. Court Ankasa Mame 10 good years imprisonment. Mame court under another Danko Kufado Emane 10 years good imprisonment. But Mame Yahoo be of fire. And they so ko share him, so ko tear him, so ko edin wenti. And cry a tea and say through the then Attorney General, they say Mame no na o she US Ankasa. Yenti and sema better court a sentence no. Former Deputy Attorney General Ira Tuya Edituja.
What do you know as an office that you can share with us in relation to the lady who has been convicted?
Thank you very much. As you already indicated, she was convicted by the court in Ghana some time ago. And after the conviction, I made it known to the media that we were going to take steps to have her extradited to Ghana. We've actually taken that step, and in collaboration with our international partners, we're able to go at least know where she is, and that very soon, definitely, she may be extradited to Ghana. But it's the issue of going through due process. The American system will have to go through a due process, but all the documentation that you are supposed to file, we've made it available to international partners, and if everything goes through, she will definitely come back to Ghana and begin her sentence.
Do we know where she is? Which country is she in?
She's in the United States of America.
So she has been identified. Now, what is the process? When you identify, do you have to put the person under house arrest, or you have not gotten the what's the word? The concerns of the US government to do anything?
In fact, when it comes to extradition processes, for example, if someone, the fugitive is in Ghana, and you have to extradite that person outside Ghana, you have to go to the court processes to get a court order. In the EU, they have a similar process there. So what we're supposed to do as a counterpart, if finish them whatever that we have, they're just waiting on them. So the moment they finish with their processes, then she'll be brought down to Ghana.
It's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? It's likely to take months, if not years, isn't it? Extradition is usually a very complex mix, isn't it?
She has a right, definitely. If you even be extradited from one country to another, you have a right to engage counsel. But in this particular instance, there is a conviction, and that conviction was done by a court of competent jurisdiction. But as to the defense that she may want to put up there, I want to rest it for now. Because what I know is that she has to go to a due process in the US and be brought down to Ghana to serve her sentence. And it should definitely be brought down to Ghana to serve her sentence.
All right. And say, what Deputy Attorney General, I'll say, ma'am, in the court, I find a sentence, but US. But to get her back to Ghana, no, it has to go through some processes. Into those processes, no, and another Dankwa Kufuor's administration actually started to get her back in Ghana. But Anya Juma, and which is Enra moment, I think, say Ghana's ambassador to US, Honorable Honor Victor Smith, my main cancer, edit this particular statement at the screen to Ebetuja. Now, my main kind and children will be anti at the corner. 15th of January 2026. Arrest and detention of Mrs. Sedinam Tamakloe at Yunu. I can today confirm that Mrs. Sedinam Tamakloe at Yunu is being detained at the Nevada Southern Detention Center, or the address in Ababetoho. My information is that she was detained by US Marshals on January 6th and has since been kept at the detention center. I'm reliably informed that acting on an extradition request sent to the US authorities sometime in July 2024, US Marshals arrested Mrs. Tamakloe at Yunu and placed her in detention to await her day in court. Inti Honorable Anazira Victor Smith Ankasa any sign into say somewhere in 2024 Abrana Nana Danko Akufo-Addo and the president then and this particular extradition order no a common US for say there be mami ya sentence no we sika and maybe to make us we sika na bokro no because court and kata and the sentence no wa mama mi gina no those kind of stuff enti momfa mami emre me ewo ha but ye prayer enti January 6 according to Ambassador Victor Smith no US authorities arrested mami ewo Nevada ho ba bi nti say mami as we speak today ne de ye mami Tamakloe ationu Sedinam ewo US aban kukuma yedri be go through the processes see betim de na ba Ghana amana be serving a 10-year jail sentence court demand na they are awaiting those kind of processes now when him say abra John Dramani Mahama's administration started say kenufura tansen me ye kan wasem no lawyer for Yura former finance minister ebe kan sembi if you tin sema okai
Sedinam Tamakloe Ationu has been convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction, a criminal court of competent jurisdiction, of corruption and corruptible tendencies. She has been convicted and is now a jailbird. She's a criminal fugitive in the United States. I think our government, on the threshold of what they promised Ghanaians, should be able to bring Ationu back to Ghana, and then they can deal with Kenoforiata. Now, Sedinam Ationu, she has blood running through her veins. Kenoforiata has palm kernel oil, adringo, in his veins, so he is now more important than Sedinam Ationu, who has been convicted. This is the justice we are preaching in Ghana.
Well, lawyer Frank Davis in some kind say on TSS Sedinam Tamakloe court of a convention the dano. John Dramani Mahama's administration is not interested in her, but rather they are going after Kenoforiata. But he ought to have known, say, not the Attorney General of Ghana, Atena and as a parliament, I can't check Ghana for say. Nana Danko Akufo-Addo's administration had already requested her to be extradited into Ghana or back to Ghana, but it's a process. So it doesn't also mean say Kenoforiata de no so yenjai. Tiensema Attorney General eka parliament.
Office, that is the office of the Attorney General, is awaiting the execution of our request to have her extradited to serve her prison sentence in Ghana. The International Cooperation Unit of the Attorney General's Department followed up on our request from the Department of Justice, the United States of the United States of America in September 2025. So if there is any impression being created that I am not taking any steps, this is the evidence that in September, that is just a month ago, I took the step of inquiring from the United States Justice Department the steps that they were taking in respect of the extradition. And they indicated that they are following their extradition procedures in executing the request, and that the fugitive would be extradited as soon as they have satisfied all the procedures. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And Attorney General said there be lawyer Frank Davis, when the NPP forecast said there be he is not doing anything to get the woman back to Ghana. Or say no correct. Now September year, which is 2025 September year, and on follow up on the US authorities say and then another Danko Akufo-Addo no, yeah, the request be by say Mahami be Ghana and be ho, Monfani Ghana. So how far now? It was he is working hand in hand with the US authorities to get this particular woman extradited back to Ghana. In Tiakahobi, and then the US of actually say, one part, my men are modern extradition order the buy no. Yes, so we are going to take her through the processes. In Tianyano Cresse, NDC are buying John Dramani Mahama down no. They are only interested in Yeraken Nana Kuntunkunuku Ufuriata, but rather they are also going after Mami away NDC Niba Mapa. She actually served as MASLOC boss under John Dramani Mahama's administration. But Mami found come na yan say nipa bebre any mu nsem kasi baby say Mami amakana sama kan. E dey potting no ya e man na do Danko Akufo-Addo's court actually made a judgment against her and then ruled against her and made sure that she was going to be imprisoned for 10 years. I say, appropriating 500,000 Ghana cedis of MASLOC funds for personal use after it was returned from a private Microfinance Company or Batampa Microfinance Company Limited. Ese maami eden nsa bo aban sika 500,000 Ghana cedis bi ma sika free microfinance bi na ba MASLOC or the nsa bo mu. She didn't come to defend herself, so we are saying say e krono a wabo ebi no. Number 2, withdrawing over almost 2 million Ghana cedis, 1.816 million Ghana cedis in tranches after the MASLOC board approved 1.76 of MASLOC funds for a countrywide sensitization. I say maame no kwa de nsa ekobɔ MASLOC sika bi ma brank onko countrywide sensitization no efa sika no ekodi almost 2 million Ghana cedis. I say out of the 1.816 million for the sensitization program, only 1,300 was spent on refreshment for some beneficiaries in the Volta, Greater Accra, and Bono Ahafo region, with no program taking place in other regions. I say, no, almost 2 million Ghana cedis now on Fankoye program. No, or use only 1,300 Ghana cedis. Hey, my Ghana, so ya more. A man for a whisker power or my more. Hey, I say, what Ghana, Busia, semi. Just say for almost 2 million cedis Koye program. No, they order just 1,300 in a Koye. Mame, after scanning in Eddie. As appropriating only 579,800 out of the sum of 1.4 million, 65,000 men for the victims of the Kantamanto market fire disaster in 2013. You see, Kantamanto jato honso no. Sika on fan ko support Kantamanto for no so ma me ko ya. On you say fire disaster akwa kwidi. Ghana chop. I go dey do too. E go be procuring 150 Chevy Avio saloons at a cost of $75,495, which is almost $18,000 instead of $12,000. Enti on to car. Ebi ma omom de be Uber, omom de be young good area no so no. Ma me no so car no turn almost $12,000 and also the buy so turn $18,000. Anyway, so can so say a lot and so can so afedi. Hey, I was procuring 200 pieces of Samsung B310 mobile dual SIM phones under a project called Pinco Projects Market Survey at an inflated cost of $93,412 when the market value for the phones were $24,000. Hey, asemo. On go to phones me buy survey no. Phones in the cost of $24,000. On go buy almost 1 million Ghana cedis. That is what fa kwedi. Yeah, na e kan mami or ba. Authorizing ex-gratia amount to over 1.3 for herself and her 2 deputies and her deputies. As Gracia and Kwano Quantum International, in Castle and Seminole Dawson. I mean, yes, it's a did ye, and yes, Kakatwa. In the US for see a chimami, our bank kukuma. They are ready to bring her to face her 10-year jail sentence in a court and another than Kokufado. A sentence in no. If she is coming there, then definitely I think say Yura also ought to come. Because if that is the direction I mind echo, because unti more mind echo no na women echo baby. But I would say surprisingly no, mama can't say minchiro. So we are tricky ya. Yura Kenufurata na madwana ko na US me yare me ko samo yare ya. It's exactly the same trick na mama use here. Mama was actually the first person or yes I don't know. Abra buy say I think it's about 7 months pe na pio oyi no koi. Your friend omra also yare into a US as an hoyare. My man at the US 9 years in on San Hoyare me. So as to say yare no also say a Kenufurata side be no say Kenufurata so free mammy ho. I have no idea. In the comment section of our joint chebra. This is the debate with Munufie. Enti and there, Mammy Sedinam Tamakloe. According to Ambassador Victor Smith, US and Fonsakana, she's going to go through the same process as Kenufurata Ebekonubi to get her back to Ghana. That's it.